Yo, what's going on? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street, guys. Hopefully, you guys are having an awesome start to the year. There have been stocks just flying around all over the place, as you guys probably have noticed. The market, even the days the market is down, there's individual stocks just flying around. Want to talk to you guys a little bit today about IPOs. IPOs are something that we've been trading really well the last 6 months, I would say even a year. Airbnb, right? Dash. There's so many IPOs that have been coming out every single week. Some of the biggest movers that have happened in the market have all been from IPOs. You can see like it's a $5 billion week in IPOs this week. Posh, AFRM, so on and so forth. So what I want to talk to you guys is about how to find these ones and then how to play them. We've been shredding this AFRM IPO the last couple days using some very simple setups. But first thing is first, I use this IPO scoop. Every morning I'll come in and just see like, okay, what are the IPOs that are launching? And from there, like what I do is like I look for like specific things, right? Number one, like, is it got any buzz? What I mean by buzz is like, there's things like Airbnb and stuff that you hear about. So there's buzz. But beyond that, like you have to think about like what are the sectors that are working in this market? Like where is the heat really going to be? So like we know that tech has been a theme for the last, right, so many years. What else has been a theme, right? Like anything green energy, green anything, EV, battery, those have been different themes. And so I'll go through this and see like, okay, what could be of interest? Is anything tech, biotech, green energy, you know, so on and so forth, battery related, and put them on a list, you know, very, very simple, right? And then once they go live, like I'm watching them and looking for a handful of techniques that I can use. So like this AFRM is something we've been trading back and forth for the last couple days. And I use this setup nonstop on IPOs. When a stock, and the IPOs usually launch like right around lunchtime. So when the IPO launches, like, you know, you don't want to just buy it right away. So many IPOs end up being duds, like where they just don't do anything. So what I want to do is like, wait, I usually need minimum like 3 to 5 candles of range, but what it could be 10 candles, 15 candles, it doesn't really matter. But I wanted to develop some type of range. So like this AFRM, this is a trade that we took in our chat room yesterday. You know, this thing starts, it opens up and it gets up to like about $95, right? And some change, like right off at the open. So now all I'm doing, this is just such a simple technique, right? I want minimum 3 candles. So as this thing makes its opening move, you can see you get a consolidation candle. And then when you take out this range, you're ready to go. It's 95 bucks. I'm in, and it's just off to the races, right? So in 1 candle, right, 2 candles, you got all the way up to kind of 103. So it's just something, it's a day trading vehicle, right? So it's just sell half into the first spike, sell half into the next spike, so on and so forth. And if they can keep going, then, you know, we can always re-add. But what you want to do is when you have one of these IPOs, like you want to keep it on your watch list for a few days. Like it's not just going to be like a one-day thing. It's going to work for a few days, and then they usually rest, and then you come back like a couple of weeks later. So like today we did a very, very similar setup in that, like, you know, I got this IPO on my watch list, and you can see like right off the bat, like it opened up at about 114. So this thing's got some heat. When it opens up that strong, like, you know, like this thing's got a crazy amount of heat, and it's could be something that's got some potential. The key is like not to chase it. So like today, like as this stock like starts to base out, notice I was just like sitting at the VWAP and you got these tails like kind of forming here. So what it's telling you is it's absorbing at that VWAP and that there's a buyer there. It's either a buyer, the algos are there, but they're supporting this thing and holding it up. So now what's happening is like as this thing is holding, what I'm waiting for is my EMAs to catch up and let this thing tighten. So as this thing is holding and starts to come out of range, I add this back into the 109s, put a stop loss right under the VWAP, and now I've got a very early entry for when the stock breaks out, you know, its range. And then you can always add more, you know, if it starts to break out its range. But as soon as this thing starts breaking out, right, we're scaling out of the position, taking partial profits. So I usually scale out in 1/3 if I got a lot of heat on something. And then it's just a matter of like managing the position. So, you know, what ends up happening is, you know, and I'm trading live right in front of everybody all day. You know, I ended up getting out of my last shares at like 137. So like, you know, I'm on video all day, you know, trading in front of everybody, but it's a simple matter of like scale out, right? And then as I start to see additional patterns, what I really want to do is like the shares that I scaled out, I want to re-add them with the stop under the 9 EMA to really tighten up my risk. The key is though, if this area is too loose, it's not going to work. So as this thing starts to tighten up, I can re-add a half a size or a 1/3 size, not a full, right? You want to manage your risk accordingly. And then it's the same thing. Once you get 2 to 1, 3 to 1 reward to risk, like you want to start to kind of scale out of these things and then kind of re-hit them, the ones that you scaled out, if it tightens back up into a flag. So, you know, I ended up re-adding this thing like 3 times today and ended up selling on my last shares at like, you know, my last shares at 134, 135.40s and 137s, you know, so I ended up with a pretty good kind of trade on here. And we've been doing this a lot on IPOs. One thing you can do on your TC2000, if anybody needs this, I can get this to you. You know, I've got a list of all the IPOs, and you can do it right from TC2000. I've got a list of all the IPOs that have opened up like in the last, like say 1 year that fit like some kind of minimum liquidity requirement. And I'll usually run a sort like, okay, what are the ones that have opened up? You know, what are the ones that are up the most like the last 90 days? Those tend to have like the most heat on them. And you'll see like a lot of like great ones start to pop up. Like this is something, you know, that's like really been trending, and right, JMIA and so on and so forth. But once a week, like go through these names so that you can see like, okay, what's gonna be the next hot one? You know, after they come out the first 2 days, 2-3 days, you can day trade them. But then later on, what they'll do a lot of times is they'll kind of base out like this, and then they'll restart their run later. So that can be just a nice, easy, simple way to just add a little bit of edge to your trading. We've been doing these IPOs really well, and frankly, they got a lot of heat. I anticipate for probably the next 4, 5, 6 months that these things are going to still be hot. I do the same kind of setup with SPACs and things of that nature. So hopefully that helps, guys. As always, if you enjoy the video, have any questions, just leave me a comment, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys around. Good luck with your trading.